Can yoga heal? One common problem that many people get, especially as they age, is something called trigger finger. Essentially, the fingers don't move smoothly. And a few months back, around March, April time frame, I was doing a lot of handyman work and repetitive work, and suddenly I found that, I started getting trigger finger in my left hand. Essentially, when I try to close my fist or open my fist, it would be jerky. It would lock up and then release suddenly. So, this is something that, if I press some of the tendons on the top of my hand or at the bottom of my hand, on my palm, essentially it was painful in some spots. So, I tried massage, etc., and could not really fix it. And months went by and I thought it'd fix itself, but no, it would not fix itself. So I went to my yoga teacher, Arthritic, and said, does yoga have a solution for trigger finger? And he said that, for maintaining basically the health of the hands, yoga does have a bunch of exercises. And so essentially, he showed me the 3 exercises, which I'm going to show you. And then I'd been through Thai massage courses, so I know, how energy flows through the fingers, etc., through send lines and so on. And I said, let me do that. And then let me do something called Pranic Healing. So Pranic Healing is a technique that I had learned, I think probably almost 40 years ago, 1996 time frame, so more like 25 years ago. So I'd learned this technique from Anne-Marie Berenstrom. She's a mystic yoga practitioner, and she learned all these things by working with sadhus and mystics in India for 20 years. And then she's a Swedish lady, and she came back and started the ashram in Santa Barbara. And I'd gone there in 1996, and she taught basically pranic healing and basically getting all kinds of experiences. So actually she taught the pranic technique to basically have us experience the kundalini and outer body experiences and all that. And it is something that does work. And I did experience it when she was conducting this pranic thing, and it gave me confidence that this pranic healing is an amazing power that all human beings have. It's how basically we go ahead and heal ourselves, or even babies grow, or we heal ourselves. So what is this pranic healing, and how did Anne-Marie Berenstrom explain it? So essentially, she said that you've got 3 bandhas. You've got your Mula Bandha, which is the pelvic floor, and then you've got your diaphragm, Uddiyana Bandha, and then you've got your throat, and that's called Jalandhara Bandha. So there are these 3 bandhas, and if you utilize those 3 bandhas in certain sequences and certain ways, you can generate an energy flow in your body where you can direct that energy flow to any part of the body that needs healing. And so I learned that technique from Anne-Marie, and then now over the years I've used it to solve many small, medium, large problems that just the act of living causes. And for example, once I got bursitis in my left hip, and It was painful as anything. I could barely walk. And when I went to the doctor, they wanted to give me a steroid shot, which I did not want. And essentially, I said, let me try this pranic healing that I'd learned, 10 or 15 years ago. And and so I used this pranic healing method, and immediately after three sequences of actions, I could see that bursitis was coming under control. Things had started improving, and then within a day, after I repeated this 2 or 3 times in the next 24 hours, it was gone. And basically your prana, when directed to the bursitis situation, solved the problem. I've used this for many reasons, and I said, okay, why don't I use it for my trigger fingers? So so basically, the way it works is the following, just so that you know, is that you first get the pelvic lock, and you lock it, and then you take a breath, but you take a use your diaphragm to pull down and expand your lungs. So rather than using the intercostal muscles to open up the chest, use your diaphragm to pull it down and expand your lungs to breathe. But when you pull it down, guess what? You are compressing all the fluids in your abdomen. Your abdomen is actually quite liquid. The organs and everything is actually quite fluidic. So you can compress it. And so you compress it between the pelvic floor and the diaphragm. You hold it compressed with your in-breath, and then you lock your Jalandhara Bandha by bringing your chin to your clavicle, and then you basically squeeze the diaphragm and the pelvic floor tighter, and you'll see that that becomes really hard, and that it's just like a piston. That energy is now available to direct where you want. As you get more and more experience doing it, this energy can be directed to everywhere, to any part of your body, from the tip of your toe to the tip of your finger to your knee, if you have a arthritic knee like I have, or your shoulder joint, rotator cuff, whatever problem, wherever your problem is, you can direct the pranic energy down there. So basically I said, okay, I've got this trigger finger, let me go ahead and utilize it in combination with the yoga moves that my yoga guru Arthritic taught me. So essentially 3 yoga moves. The first one is you take your middle finger and you stretch it, and then you bring your 3 fingers together, the remaining 4 fingers together at the tip of your thumb, and then stretch out your elbows so you get good stress. And now let's use pranic healing. So take a deep breath, but from the diaphragm. Hold it and move the pranic energy to the fingers through the palm of your foot, of your hand. And that's one breath. Do a second breath, and this time use even more pressure to pull the fingers apart. Obviously you cannot move, you can't see the movement, but it's moving apart. And there's a burst of energy that you see flowing into all the tendons of your palm. And then the third breath. Fourth breath. Fifth breath. And now just relax for 5 breaths, and you can feel that your palm is all warm, as all the energy, prana, that you had going into your palm floods that palm. Obviously, prana is a combination of nerve pulses and energy and blood flow and whatever else there is in prana. Okay, so that's number one. The second exercise is you take your ring finger and then again get the rest of the 4 fingers at the tip of your things. Open up your elbows. Now, Pranic Healing. First breath. Use your mind to move the hydraulic pressure or pranic flow into your palms. Third breath. Fourth breath. Again, 5 breaths. Just feel the energy flooding through the tips of your fingers, the palm, the back of the palm, the wrist. Everything is warm. Then the third yoga exercise. Small finger, ring finger, middle finger, index finger, and the thumbs go to the center of your palm and then stretch it open. Third breath. Rest. 5 breaths. Okay, so I did this for about a week and boom, the trigger fingers were healed. And now if I get a small feeling that the fingers are getting trigger finger, I'll just go ahead and do this before when I wake up. Typically the trigger fingers are worse during the mornings because not much blood flow has gone into your hands, and boom, it's solved. Okay, so smooth, everything moves smoothly. Next, I will show you in the next video, I will show you how to basically access the energy flows in your hands and massage or move it through all the congestions that are there in the palm. Okay, so that's in the next video.